We did the mash. We did the monster mash. The monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. Hey guys, welcome on in. It's Saturday for me. I hardly ever do anything on Saturday in a bit and go live, but this was a fun one, and I've been looking forward to it, and I'm enjoying watching all the cool things going on in this event today, which is called Monster Mash, and I am in the Victoria Clark's Crafting Group, friends. So you guys, hope you come on over. If you're already in this event and in this group watching, that would be awesome. If you're actually just joining me for the first time and you don't know what I'm about, just tap on that screen and give me a like and a follow. And hey, Brooklyn, how's it going there, girlfriend? Good to have you here. I'm not sure if you're familiar with me, but you can see in the corner there, my name's Crafting with Kim, or my name's Kim, Crafting with Kim. I might can change the name because there's another girl out there that's got a very similar name. Anyway, hey, oh my God, Susan, hey, girly, I love you. Good to see you here, girl. There's Victoria. All right, see if I'm in the group yet. It might take a little bit of a minute. There I am. Well, that was fast, Vicky. I'm surprised to see myself so quick. Okay, now that I'm up and running in the group, I can see my comments over there. I love you too, darling. Susanna Sanchez, one of my girls. She's one of my best friends. And actually, if anybody knew what I was going through on Thursday when I had my live, you'll understand. She was a friend that came over and had to leave and all this stuff. So anyway, yeah, as you guys are kind of rolling in here, I hope you hang out with me for the next hour. We're going to be playing in the clay. And let me tell you, I could not decide what to do. For weeks, I knew about this event, and I had it set in my head that I was going to do, because I do clay. I work with clay. I was going to do a Venus flytrap. I was all about like this little shop of horrors. It was going to be super cute, and I really kind of like was still to do that at some point. But then I came across these little cute candle looking things, like the little fun little candle guys on sculpted out of clay on Pinterest. And I thought, you know what, that is something kind of fun and simple. And if anybody ever wanted to try this in clay, they could do this. I think I'll make it simple so you could actually give it a try. And they were pretty cute. So I did a mock-up of one, and I'm going to do another one. But I don't think that's going to take me a whole hour. So I decided to take on another event. Hey, Catherine, Kelly, how's it going, girl? I decided to take on another project, and we'll see how far I get with that. It's also going to be out of clay. But it's kind of like a little, I call them the little misfit monsters, if you guys have ever seen those. Throwing out the clay, absolutely, rolling the clay, throwing out the clay, anything you want to call it, clay-tastic. Those are my terms. So I appreciate you guys doing that for me and sharing love. Oh, by the way, I am like, as I looked last time, I was 86 friends away from reaching my 4,000 goal, my 4K goal, guys. So if you throw me out there, let everybody know, share me out. I really appreciate that. I'm getting close. I don't really promote it that much. I just kind of let things kind of go organically because that's just the way I roll. But it'd be nice to get my 4K soon. That would be cool. So like I said, this is Monster Mash. This is Victoria Clark's group. And I love Vicky. She's a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs in this group and a lot of fun people. The lineup is going way into the night. I think like 10 o'clock or something. I didn't actually print out the lineup, but you guys stay in the group and you'll know what's going on. My girlfriend Jan Hauser's after me. Find Again Finds Two. So you guys make sure, because I love Jan. I love what she does, and she's going to be doing something fun. But I do have like a lot going on. I just, like I said, I don't know. We'll see if I get through everything. We'll get as far as we can, put it that way. Hey, Cheryl, how are you doing? I also have my timer set up, guys, my 5-minute timer towards the end for my hashtag word. I got the giveaway tool set up. So stay with me till the end of the hour, and I'll give you a hashtag word, put in the comments, and get a chance to win an Amazon $5 gift card. This is the last event of the month for me, so I'll be putting those out. Whoever wins on my list, I'll be sending those out through your email, so make sure you hang tight on that. Okay, so we got Catherine. Oh, we got Catherine, Cindy. Hey, Cindy, how's it going, girl? I like your little guys, your little cute little frames that you did today. It has been pouring rain here. I woke up to a torrential, like, flood warning rain here in Florida, and I'm like, oh, my Lord, because when it rains, it's really noisy, and my shed above my roof is a 10 with no insulation. But thank God it actually stopped like maybe 15 minutes ago. So it's nice and quiet now. I'm like, oh, thank you for sprinkling, Miss Minnie. I appreciate that. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead. I'm going to show you a couple things. The first project, okay? And then I'm going to show you the one I'm going to try to get through and see how far we get. All right, so you guys might have seen this. I put it on my page a few days This is my little fun guy here. This is actually like a mock candle. And one of my friends, and I kind of thought the same thing. It kind of reminded me of the like the Beauty and the Beast little guy, you know, like the little candle. But you know, I saw different versions of these on Pinterest, and this is just my little version. But this is actually all made out of clay, and it was actually from, you can see on the bottom, it is from, I cut off half of a chip like a Pringles can. You know, I cut off that, and used air dry clay and covered the whole thing in clay, and then I sculpted the little face. I put a little indention in there so you could actually have one of these little tea lights, turn on these little guys right here, and make it light up and have your little fun thing. Of course, you can see the little drips and whatnot. So I thought about painting them and everything, but I kind of liked them sort of neutral and white. So I kind of left them like that. So you can use any kind of thing. You can use a toilet paper roll holder, anything like that, and just put your clay around it. Today, I'm actually going to be doing another one that's a little smaller, a little different, just for GP, because this is what I initially was going to do until I found the Pringles can idea. Is I'm going to be using one of these little guys from the Dollar Tree. It's one of those little wax covered little candles. You know, it's got the little thing on the bottom where you can turn it on, little electric candles. I'm going to be doing a little face image on this one, so I could show you basically how to do two ways. And you know, you could, you know, like I said, use any kind of circular cylinder thing that you want and just create this little face. Okay, so that's going to be the first project. I don't think this one's going to take too long. I always say that, and yeah, and yeah, things go. But I kind of like them on the pedestals, you know, sit them on the little Dollar Tree, like little pedestals or whatever little spindle you got. They're kind of fun that way. All right, so that is the first thing. The second one, hi, Irma, how are you? The second one I'm going to maybe at least get a start on is these, I call them misfit monsters. You guys ever seen these? This is one. Now, I don't really do much except for clay anymore, but I actually made this a long time ago. This is Leroy, by the way. My husband named him Leroy. He's one of our children. And this one was actually made out of I hand stitched this one. I cut it out. It was actually hot glued, but they ended up I did this because I was working with kids and I needed like a little mock-up version. Of course, mine was much more detailed than theirs, but we did these little fun little critters. Like I just call them like little misfit monsters. So you can see the eyes and you can see like little buttons, and these are so fun to make. I really thought I was going to start getting and making a whole bunch of these and kind of making like personalities of people and all that. So yeah, this is Leroy, and he's kind of like the Flat Stanley guy. He's traveled with us a little bit. We've taken pictures with him and whatnot. But he sits on our shelf right now, and my husband named him Leroy, and he's part of our family. So anyway, I'm going to make a little clay version of this kind of idea. But a little female, and we'll have to name her. You know, I'll let my husband name her. He's good with the names. But I am going to make that. I'm going to get a start on working with her. And I'm just going to make her not I was thinking about making her full three-dimensional, like a stand-up figurine, but I think I'm just going to put it on a board. You can kind of hang up. So anyway, that's my goals for today. We'll see how far I get. Okay, so now that I got all the semantics out of the way, I'm going to take you down on my table. I did print out the lyrics to Monster Mash, by the way. Has anybody else been having that song, that earworm in their head, since you talked about Monster Mash? The Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. I actually printed out the words because I'm like, I kind of know the words to sing them, but when you actually look at the words, the lyrics on something, it's kind of interesting because I highlighted all the different kind of like the monsters that are in the song, and we'll maybe get a little time to have some fun with that. All right, guys, right now I'm going to take you on my table below with my other camera so you can see my work, because it's just with my camera set up and it works better. But hang tight, I can see all your comments and everything, so everybody just keep piping in and talk amongst yourself and whatever as I'm doing this. Let me switch this over. And I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Like I said, mine's turned out to be pretty rainy, but which is really rare for Florida. We don't get too much morning rain, but this has been a weird week. We've been getting a lot of late night rain and then morning rain. I don't know what that is. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is pull out my clay. Hey, Jan, how's it going, darling? I'm glad you're right after me. I love it when we're like back to back like that. Okay, so I'm working with air dry clay today. My other little girl, I really want to do in polymer, but I didn't want to switch clays in between my projects online because, I mean, during the live, it'd be kind of a mess. Anyway, DOS, that's my favorite. I always talk about this. Anybody out there? DAS. This is it, Jan. Listen, DAS. This is Amazon, like $9-10, you know, and it's a 2-pound brick. It's real heavy. Works great. This, Jovi, are my two favorites so far. I'm sure there's some others out there. I'm not a fan of some of the other brands because they crack and shrink, but this stuff is amazing. It really is. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is take a little hunk of this and kind of, this one here on this guy, this one I covered, get the little candle out there. I covered the entire can. Well, of course it was a can. So I did the entire thing in clay. I covered it up. But since this one's already got, a faux candle, I'm not going to really cover the entire thing. I'm just going to kind of mock the face a little bit, add some drips, and then we're going to paint. I'm going to paint it with like plaster paint, and hopefully it'll all kind of tie in and look pretty much the same. Because I didn't feel a need to really cover the whole thing since it's already like a round candle. All right, so we're just going to kind of put a little face on this so I can show you how fun and simple. And even if you're not into this thing, this might be something kind of fun to do with kids. Kids love this kind of stuff. They love doing faces, and this one's actually I chose a real simple image that I think anybody can pretty much whip out. All right, so I'm using my cutter tools. If you don't have these, you can just use a knife of any sort, but I love using these because they're so much easy. That's probably even too much clay. I don't even think I need that much, but one thing about this air dry clay, make sure you cover it up, guys, because I don't like it. When it starts getting dried out, I don't like that. I'm just going to put it over here. All right, and so what I'm doing, like I said, is we're just, hey, Louise, how's it going? Good to see you. Cindy Dice is air dry clay. Yes, it is an air dry clay. And it, the thing about air dry clay is people don't realize you can actually put your heat tool on it. You can kind of pre-dry it. And believe it or not, I've done this before. You can actually put it in the oven. You can put it on the oven on low temperature. I bake polymer clay at 275, and I've actually combined my air dry and my polymer together in a project, and I experiment with it. Believe it or not, the main reason that people don't like to do air dry clay is as a fast drying thing is because it cracks. This does not crack. So you could technically put this in your oven on maybe 250, 275 and get away with it and cook it for, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, and kind of dry if you're not patient enough to let it dry on its own. All right, so this little guy, like I said, we're just going to do something kind of simple. Hey, Laura, how's it going? Good to have you here, girl. Haven't seen you. I'm glad we caught each other. It's been a while, girl. We're just talking about Boris and Karloff and the words of Monster Mash. He was a graveyard smash. I do have the lyrics. Yep, I do. I'll go through those in a minute. Let me get a little start on this and get my head in the creative mode, and then I'll go through that. All right, so basically all I'm going to do is I'm taking, if a person really wanted to make things really symmetrically even, you could like smash your clay, roll it out, and even roll it out on a, I have a pasta maker, but you just want to kind of make it look as thick and consistently thick as possible. Then you can take a little cutter and cut out little pieces, or you can just cut it in half, and that way it'll give you something fairly symmetrical. So that's what I'm sort of doing. This is not, obviously I didn't even cut that straight, so it ain't gonna be right. I'll take a little pinch and put it right there. But in the theme of things, these are organic and faces are not absolutely perfect. So I don't give two hoots. I'm just doing this. Now I've actually never done this on this particular, I might have to put some glue on here, and I'm realizing that I have to. I've never actually put air dry clay on this little wax thing. So I am going to have to put, I'm just using a little bit of like my Gorilla Glue just to have something to kind of hold the surface. When I did it on the, you do it on paper, it actually holds up pretty good. I'm just going to put some little dabs here where I think I'm going to need my face. So that's one little thing. Like I've never done one of these before, so we're learning together as far as doing it on this kind of wax surface. Hey, Kimberly, how's it going? Kim, got it. Kim's namesake. Love that. How you doing, Miss Kimberly? Kimberly. Mine's Kimberlyn. I have an N on the end of mine. So I'm just kind of mixing this a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to, I'll just do the whole thing together, actually. I think it'd be better. I'm just going to kind of take a little bit, and I'm just pressing it on there. Like I said, I've got that glue on there to hopefully it'll stick. If this doesn't work, guys, then I'm just going to switch gears and go to my other girl. But like I said, if you were to have this on a piece of paper, like a cylinder or anything like that, it would totally just stick right to it. Or you could add a little water to the back of this air dry clay, and that's how you stick the air dry clays together, by the way, is you just do it like that. All right, so I'm just kind of forming like a little, it doesn't look like much in the beginning until you start working with it. You just sort of get your little pieces on there. Like I said, this one's very, very simple. I'm not doing anything real extravagant. on this because I wanted it to make something that I think other people might try. I am going to make the nose. Get it, stay in place. Don't move. Stop, stop, stop. You're not supposed to go anywhere. Okay, so Monster Mash. We got done by E. Okay, done by me. I'm not familiar with you either, darling. There's Pam Mead. Hey, Pam, how's it going, girl? And there's my girl, Lisa. Good, good, good. All right, so I'm making a nose. A basic, there's lots of ways you can make noses, but I'm just making like a triangle shape, guys. I mean, just starting out with just a basic triangle shape. This, like I said, this clay is it smooths up real nice. And I'm just getting my basic shape for now, and then you can add to that. So I'm just going to throw the nose on top of there. And this ain't brain surgery, guys. You guys can do this. It's just like a little thick triangle, putting up there for the nose. All right. And then I'm going to throw a little mouth on here. And then, like I said, it's not going to be real detailed, this one, but it should be pretty cute. I think it'll come out kind of cute. So this one, I'm doing like a little circle. And then with the circle, it's just basically shapes. I'm going to press that circle on there. Okay, I'm just pressing it on there like that. Like I said, trust the process, guys. It always looks a little odd in the beginning when you start working. All right. Then the other one, getting my wrinkles on is a whole nother thing because that's where you make impressions with the clay. But since I'm not covering this whole thing, I think I'm just going to kind of draw my little wrinkle lines on here or paint them on. I haven't really decided. Like I said, this surface might not be the best surface to do this on, but it would definitely work really good on any kind of like a cylinder can, especially the Pringles cans. Oh, by the way, if you didn't want something this big, like a big fat one, you can always cut these cans or whatever your cylinder is. You can cut them in half and squeeze them together and make them smaller so that will look like you don't want a big fat one like that. Okay, so the nose is going to be about like that. And I got the eyes, but I'm going to spread the eyes out here because I want some big old eye sockets. I might have to put a little bit more clay on there. It looks, Lucy Marie, it looks like it. Let's see. I missed the beginning. Are you using a candle? This is actually one of those little faux electric candles from the Dollar Tree. This is, like I said, this one I made, as I mentioned, this is made out of a Pringles can or like a chip can. I cut it down. So this one's covered entirely in clay, and I'm just playing around with this one to see how it works on this, because this has like a little waxy surface. And I'm just curious. This was my first thought, and then I came across the Pringles can and tried that. So I do need something to kind of keep it in place. It keeps rolling on me. All right, so we got that. Now, what I'm going to do is put, I think, a little bit more on the eyes because I want them to be kind of indented here. Press in. Just like I said, you guys can see this is pretty easy so far. I'm trying to make it really, really easy so that you guys want to try doing something like this. So there's tons of different faces you can do too. I mean, this is just one shape, one. I want to do something, like I said, pretty simple. Just Jackie. How's it going, Miss Jackie? Good to see you, girl. I am having tough challenges today. Blessings to you. Okay. Now, here's the way, of course, you can dip your finger in a little bit of water. You want to smooth this clay out. That's one thing. And also, when you're attaching air dry clay, you want to do the same thing. Okay. So I'm just doing this number right now. What I want to do is take one of my little ball stylus here. Stop rolling on me, you turkey. All right. Put you there. All right. So what I'm going to do is take one of these little ball stylus, and I want to make some big old huge indentions. Actually, I'm taking the bigger end here. And sorry about that. I have a glass surface, guys, because I work with clay, so it's hard and bangy. So I'm just pressing like this. Oh, don't get stuck in there. I put water on it, so it's getting stuck. And I'm pressing on this one too. Okay. It's sticking on me, guys. I shouldn't put the water on there. Anyway, so I got that little guy like that, and I'm just making these. I want to be kind of big. Should put, if you get stuck, you can put a little cornstarch on there, guys. But I'm opening these eye sockets up pretty big. So this is just a total play experiment, guys. I'm just goofing around with this and see what we come up with. And the same thing with the little misfit monsters. They are so fun to make. Has anybody ever made those? Like hand-stitched one, and they call them little dolls. I call them misfits. Some people call them voodoo dolls, but I'm not into voodoo and all that weird stuff. That's too dark and spiritual for me. But that's why I call them misfit monsters, because I think they're kind of just misfit children that might be a little bit lost and need a little bit of love. Okay, let me see. So there we go. We got the eyes, got the nose. All right, that's not hard, right, guys? Okay. Now the mouth, I'm going to do the same basic thing too. He's going to have one of those. Oh my gosh, what's going on in the mouth? All right. So let's get through this. All right. So there we go. Not hard, right? Not hard. But like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? What are you trying to do to me with this candle? I don't even know. I don't even want to be a candle. Okay. So Monster Mash. Let's get to some of the song lyrics. I actually got them printed out. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes began it beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his lab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. Okay. Who was that monster, guys? I think that's pretty elementary, but can you guys tell me who that monster was that was on his table? And who's singing this song, by the way? Anybody know who might be singing that song? Okay, so I got that. Now we got the old mouth, and yeah, it's just going to be like a big circle. Let me make it look. When you're multitasking on these things between reading and creating and talking and trying to read lyrics, I mean, it's like, oh, goodness, it's a lot. But it's fun. I enjoy it. Okay, so the mouth's pretty much just going to stay just like that. I don't want to change that. The nose, I'm going to add a little bit extra on the nose. Urban, diverse, sweet. All right, you guys got to answer my question. Who is the person singing the Monster Mash song, and who is the person that he's talking about in the first set of lyrics? What do you call those? Not the chorus, but the stanza or whatever that's called. So who is that? Who are they? Boris Karloff. Okay, well, Boris Karloff actually is he was the actual actor that played Vampire, who played Dracula, the original one, like from way back when in the silent movie era. Pretty sure I'm right on that one. So actually, it was not Boris Karloff that was singing that song. That was the person singing that song. Think about it. If you know the story of Frankenstein, then you'll be able to pick it up. Oh, by the way, to make a nose, once again, if you just want to make kind of a normal nose, you can just, once again, take your little tool and put it in there and make some nose holes like that. Okay. Try to do stuff like really easy for you guys so you can see how fun this is to work with. But I'm going to put like a little bulb on his nose, make him kind of funny, make him like a big old fat nose. And here's the thing, you got to end up, kind of blending these in sometimes, blending these little guys in and getting those edges together. You can do this. Like I said, this clay is pretty darn, pretty soft. And I like working with this air dry clay. I love the polymers. Well, you guys know that. They're a little bit two different animals, but they're sort of similar in some ways, except this is denser. This is a denser clay. So I'm just kind of blending those little edges. You can use a tool for this too if your hands get too small. Like I like to use my little silicone guys. I get in there like this. All right, scientist Bobby Pickett. Okay, yeah, who's singing the song? But I mean, like, who is the character? I guess I should have been. Who is the character in that song? Like, who was the one that was singing it? The mummy, I think. Nope. I was in my laboratory late one night when my eyes beheld a eerie sight. For the monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise. So who was this person singing about who? Who was the person singing about who? Now, does anybody know the story of Frankenstein? I mean, if you know the Frankenstein story, you're going to know I pretty much just gave it away right there, guys. I pretty much gave it away. Frankenstein. Yes, Minnie. Dr. Frankenstein was the actual name of the doctor. So, Frankenstein became the name of the monster because he was a namesake of the doctor, Dr. Frankenstein. So, yes, it's Dr. Frankenstein that is singing the song, the character that's singing the song, not the actual artist. I'm sorry about that. It was Bobby Pickett, I'm pretty sure. I didn't look that part up. So, anyway, yeah, so I made him a little bit of a funny nose, like a little sideways, a little bigger, big nose. Like I said, I can always play with this after the fact if I want to make it a little bit different, but I just kind of want to throw it together because I do want to get to my little misfit girl too. I think she's going to be real sweet. So yeah, Minnie got that one. And so, okay, so who was he singing about? Of course, we know where he's singing about Frankenstein, because Frankenstein was the monster or the person or whatever he was creating, his experiment on his table, which I was talking about this a little bit when Miss Sherry was doing her thing. The story of Frankenstein actually to me is rather sad. It's kind of a sad story because Frankenstein was built, off of this crazy dude that wanted to try to create a human from human parts he dug up in a graveyard. Really, honestly, how crazy is that? So this person that was created, he didn't ask to be created, and then he turned out to be this this misfit guy that everybody thought was scary and mean, but he was actually a really nice guy. He had a heart, and he didn't want to be a mean guy. And so, like I said, if anybody's ever seen that version of it's called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's older. It's when Robert De Niro was a little younger, a little bit more handsome. And he's not handsome now, but it was a great story because it was about that. It was about the feminine and the human side of Frankenstein, and it was just the best thing ever. So right now, I'm just kind of like taking this and I'm pressing in here to kind of make his nose a little bit more exaggerated, something like that. Okay, guys. Like I said, he's not going to have too many details. I'm not going to be doing much more to the face than this, except adding some little wrinkles and stuff on the side. All right, so there's his mouth. His mouth looks a little bit off. Let me try to straighten that up a little bit. Okay, so we got that. So the next line, of course, is the chorus. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on like a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. I love the way. Now, see, I know why you get confused with Boris, because I think Boris Karloff that was his voice that he used. And I don't know if that was actually him in the song, but they emulated that voice, the monster mash. So that's why you get confused with the Boris Karloff. Okay, then the next one says, from my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. I'm like, oh my Lord. So we got vampires and we got ghouls that come out of the woodwork to come hang out and do the monster mash and get a jolt from his electrodes. I'm like, okay, get a little shot going on. Okay, so there's a mouth, there's the eyes. Now let's do some little fun eyeballs, some big old fat eyeballs. Where's my play? Here it is. Bobby, Boris Pickett, and the Crypt Kickers. Matter of fact, in the lyrics in the song at the end, it actually mentions that. Yeah, it mentions that. That's the band the vocal group. All right, so for the eyes, just a couple of circles, guys. Nothing brain surgery here. So yeah, so we got vampires, we got ghouls, we got Frankie. So we got 3 monsters so far in the song. Then the next ones, of course, in the chorus comes, he did the mash. I love the chorus. The zombies, there's another one. I hate zombies, by the way. I think they're really weird and gross. Zombies were having fun. And then it says tennis shoes. Wow, woo, tennis shoes. I never knew that even was a part. That must be the chorus. Tennis shoes, wow, woo. The party had just begun. Tennis shoes, wow, woo. I don't know where the tennis shoes and the monster zombies are coming from, but they got tennis shoes on, I guess. The guests include Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. Oh my Lord, there's a lot of monsters in here. So that's Frankie, the vampires, the ghouls. Then we got Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. I'm including his son in there too. So far we got 6 monsters in this thing. All right, and they're all having a big party and they're dancing around. They were the original singers. Yeah, exactly. So like I said, there's a lot of monsters, and I guess they would be having a party. The scene was rocking, all the digging, the sounds. Igor, anybody knows who Igor was, like his little sidekick, Dracula's little sidekick. Igor, let's see, was on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive. Here you go, Laura, with the vocal group, the Crypt Kicker 5. So there you go. They did include them in there. Anyway, I thought it was kind of fun to kind of go through the lyrics and discover how many monsters were actually in the thing. I put a little water in here, guys, to connect these eyeballs. And I'm putting some big old fat eyeballs in there. The eyes always usually make it, guys. You know that. When you put eyes on something, especially, where'd it go? It rolled away. Oh, guys, I lost my eyeball. I lost my eye. He lost his eye. It totally rolled. Okay, I got to do another. You guys, my eye rolled away. All right. The original were the singers of the original. Yeah, they were the original. Exactly. Yeah, the Crypt Kicker 5. So anyway, I don't know where that eye went. That's totally crazy. It just like rolled right off the table and went somewhere, and I have no clue where it went. That's weird. Okay, so yeah, the Crypt Kicker 5, and of course the chorus is in between that. We do the monster mash. And there's another eye right there. Okay, 2 eyes, a mouth, and a nose. All right. Now, we got those. Now, what we're going to do with the eyes, I like to do this, although I'm going to be painting the darn things, is, you press them in there a little bit. But I like to take, once again, my little stylus. These little stylus things are the bomb. They really do come in handy. It's good to get a little uh, combination of these things to have a lot of these little balls. These are also daughters too. People that do dot painting. I don't know if you guys know that. The not mandalas, mandalas. Where they, is that how you say it? Where they do all the dots and stuff. They use these little things like this. Okay, so I do have another course, but first off, I'm gonna do, or not a course, but another verse. That's what's called a verse. All right, so I'm gonna press those in, and then we're gonna put like a little boop in the center, boop in the center. Okay. So he's starting to look like a little something, right? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is I should have formed his eyebrows a little bit more before I started this. I'm going to take this little tool here and just kind of form a little bit of an eyebrow. Okay. Just doing a little line. Oh my goodness. I messed with his eye. Just do a little eyebrow, press in there like that. You can make them as deep. You can even put like different, like thicker eyebrows on there, make them really pronounced or whatever. I'm just kind of using this little indenture with the clay and kind of pressing in there like that, make little eyeballs. Okay, nothing fancy. We want to make it so he's a little bit more like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Okay, like he's sort of like surprised in a way, I guess. That's kind of what I'm going for. All right. And oh, thanks. Yeah, they're just fun. Like I said, I wanted to pick something like the Venus flytrap would have been a really cool one to do, but it's got a lot of bits and pieces to it. And I thought this would be something really super simple. If anybody really want to take a little bit of clay and do this, this is not difficult. And to show you guys how easy it can be. Okay, so I do want to go ahead and put a little bit of extra like drips on him. At this point, I think I can kind of hold him up. He's going to get some paint on him too, guys. We're going to paint him up. How much time have I got? Okay, I've still got 30 minutes, which, okay, like I said, I thought I was going to get to my misfit girl. We'll see how that goes. Now, here's what I did to get my little paint drips. Not paint drips, but like the little wax strips on this. I'm going to tell you, this is a little tedious. I went all the way around. I'm not going to do that many paint drips on this one. He's only going to have a couple. But here's how I did that with the clay. Of course, if you're using hot glue, you could just run a drop and let it kind of run down and get your drip like that. You could use wax too. Remember, we used to do the wax bottles in the 70s where you drip the wax down and let it run down your bottles. You guys ever remember those big old bottles? We used to do all those. Okay, but here's a way that I created, that I came up with doing these things. So you take a little bit, like it looks like you're rolling it. This is way too much, but I have to take some off. So you start rolling out your clay like you're rolling a little sausage, but you roll it kind of like it's a little bit like tapered on one side. So you leave like the fat in there. You're rolling it and you're rolling it and you leave a fat in. And it kind of creates that little drip effect, which is actually too big. I'll probably take it down. So you get this kind of number like that, guys. But I'm going to keep working it because I want it to be like a long, little skinny drip. I might end up taking some of the clay off. Play from clay. That's right. I'm playing in the clay. That's what I do. That's what I do. I play in this clay. I love doing it. It's so much fun. It's like a kid. All right, this one, actually, I think it's a little too fat for me. I'm going to take some of it off. I don't want it quite that fat. Okay. Just roll your boat. But remember, keep that in there. Keep that fat in there. And it looks like either a water drop or like a little, in this case, it's going to be looking like a wax. That's the name, guys. Wax. Would you get play from where you get the clay? Would you get to play from where you get the clay from play CC? Not quite understanding what your question is there, Tommy. Play from clay. Could you be a little bit more specific? I'm a little confused unless somebody can help me try to figure that out. By the way, I do have a private clay group. I have some girls in there, and we get have fun doing projects every month. It's $8 a month, and every month I do a project with them. Actually, they do 2 projects a month, a mini one and then more of an advanced one. This month we're doing a really cute little scarecrow. It's the first time they're doing figurines. But yeah, we're doing that, and it's next Friday. If anybody's interested in joining, get with me on that. PC on y'all that. or PM me, and we'll get you in the group. If it's only $8 a month, you don't like it, you don't have to stay, but I think it's all fine. Okay, actually, before I put this one on, well, I can go ahead and put this one on. I am going to, number one, I got to glue it on there, which is kind of crazy. Would you get to play from where you get the clay from Play CC? Play CC. I don't know what that is, darling. You'd have to be like a little bit more specific with me. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit of this on here because this is wax and it's kind of like a slick surface. I'm having to actually stick the clay on there, on the air dry clay onto there. And that way you can just kind of mold it and do whatever you want to with it, kind of make it look a little drippy. Okay. I did want to add a little bit of a bulk up on one side though, kind of make it look like he's a little bit off, like he's not. And I know this one's got a little bit of a ridge already, but anyway, let me add that like just a little bit of a lip kind of thing on the end. You guys understand what I'm saying? So it looks like it's dripped down a little bit differently from one side to the other. It's kind of cool about it. It doesn't have to be anything any particular way because it's kind of like wax. It's dripping and looking funky and all that happy jazz. I think once it's painted, I get it all painted the same color is when it's really going to kind of tie in. And I am going to use chalk paint for this. I'm going to chalk paint it all up. Since it's not a real candle, it doesn't matter what kind of paint surface you put on it. I just kind of want to make it look like it's sort of like a little bit of clay or wax, like wax is sort of like hanging out on the edge there, kind of raised up a little bit. Did I get the clay from Play Clay? No, this clay, the DOS clay, this air dry clay, DAS clay, I got from Amazon. It comes, you can find it in your like local stores too. I know Hobby Lobby, I'm sure carries it. I usually get mine from Michael's, sort of like that. It might even need to be a little bit bigger, guys. But I'm gonna do a couple drips over here. But first off, before I do another drip, I want to, I'm gonna press that down in there. I want to draw. I'm gonna have to paint on here because I didn't do the whole surface. If you guys look at this one, because I had clay on it, I was able to actually like draw the impressions of the little wrinkles. This one, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna kind of paint them on. I think, matter of fact, I should probably do that after I paint it because, let me go ahead and do that then. Because I need to paint the whole surface and then draw my little guys on, because otherwise I'm just gonna paint right over them. I just thought about that, guys. So that's where I got my clay there. Tammy, you're asking. There are some other online sites and places you can get clay from, but that's my source right now that I'm using. I'm gonna put a little bit more on that, kind of bulk that up a little bit. And I'm gonna put a couple drips, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paint it. I'm gonna paint it all with the wax paint, not wax paint, with the Waverly chalk paint. And then, yeah, so much for my misfit girl. I really thought this was going to be a fast project. Okay, I did not finish the last couple verses. Let's see, we got as far as the Crypt Kicker 5. There's one more verse to the song. It says, out from his coffin, Drax's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the lid and shook his fist and said, whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? Oh my gosh. Yes, honey. Yeah, Jackie, it's DAS. It's the DOS clay. This one here. There we go. So I guess, what's his face? Oh, Drax was kind of PO'd because he didn't get to, they were using the Monster Mash on his song, the Transylvania Twist. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so I'm keeping it really rough and kind of funky looking. I don't care if it's got some boogers on it, what kind, because it, like I said, it's wax. Okay. Now I'm going to put a couple little drips on the side, and then we're going to call it good, and I'm going to paint it up real quick. I guess I need to put some glue on here. If I miss any comments, guys, I'm sorry. By the way, if you have not joined Vicky's group, that is Miss Victoria Clark, Crafty Friends group. Make sure you join that group. It's free. And go over there and watch us all. Just refresh your page. Whoop, do like that on your screen, on your phone. Catch us all. And it's a fun group. Like I said, Vicky's a hoot. A lot of girls in there. We always laugh and have a good time. Oh, I get you, Tammy. No worries. No worries. I understand, darling. But yeah, I hope I answered your question. It is a DAS. It's a air dry clay. The reason I like it is because sometimes I do pretty, excuse me, pretty detailed pieces. And I've had clay that cracks on me before, and I don't like it when, you know, you're trying to do some work and it cracks and stuff. But this is really nice. And I work with ceramic clay that you fire in a kiln. And to me, this is very similar. It's not, you know, you get a little mess on your hands, but it's not quite as messy as ceramic clay. But it is a little bit, that one needs to be a little bit more. So that's why I like it. There's also Jovi. Jovi is a little bit more pricey, but it's quite good too. And some people use that. Both of them are quite good. And I'm sure that there's other. I saw Justin the other night. I've never heard of this particular clay. Something he was talking about. What the heck was the name of that clay? Pixie? He might be a pink pixie thing, but it was some sort of like pixie clay or something like that. And I thought, I might have to try that and see what's up. I mean, I'm pretty happy with using this stuff. So if I try another, now there's foam clay out there, and I know Miss Wendy, Bewitching Crafts, she loves the foam clay. I have some. I cannot get next to that foam clay, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm used to using a lot of detail on my pieces, and for me, I can't get the quality of what I'm used to with working with this, between this and the polymer. So I got a whole bucket here that I hardly ever use. I don't know what I'll do with it. I know some people are like, she's real good with it. I've seen other people do things. I tried it in molds. It didn't work for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not prepping it correctly or something. Who knows? But that's my story. Some people got their own preference of what they like, right? All right. So a couple little extra drips there. I think I'm going to call it good. I don't want to overdo the drips on them. All right. All right. So, yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad I answered your question. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do with the clay. He's going to need some extra painting on here, but right now I want to go ahead and just paint the whole surface with some, I don't think I'm going to paint the inside right now, but I'm going to do the outside with my chalk paint. And then I think it's going to kind of tie it all together, because right now it's two different colors. And of course, when this clay dries, it's kind of clay, it'll be whiter. But I think it'll kind of bring it all together when you start putting the paint on it. Okay, and yes, it's still wet. Pixie dough, there you go. How is it, Catherine? I've never tried it. Have you ever tried comparing it to like something like this? I mean, the texture and all that. I mean, I didn't necessarily know if I wanted to invest in it because I'm pretty content with what I use. But I mean, there might be something a little bit different quality or a little bit different texture about it that I might like. Have you ever tried foam clay or air dry clay or polymer? I'm just kind of curious. Those are my three, and I don't know how it compares. So yeah, once again, we're just brushing all this on here. Of course, this is, you know, this 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 air dry is going to take a while to dry, and I can't really put a heat gun. I guess I could, but this is a wax candle. Yeah, I guess people do that. Jan, you do that. You grunge them up and you put your little elements, your grungy elements on these candles and use the heat gun. So I guess I could still do that. But I don't know if I will do that on this one. We'll see. I might let him dry and then just, no, I don't know. I kind of want to finish one project and not twist off too much. See how it's all kind of tying in once I paint it all one color? Pixie dough, yeah. So like I said, I'm curious to see what pixie dough is like. Thank you for that, Catherine. And it was something to do with the Paint Pixie brand products. I know there's lots of, clay is kind of becoming a popular thing now, guys. I'm telling you, more people are getting into using it, even if you just use it as an extra to supplement your work or whatever. But I mean, it's obviously, I've been using it for years, playing around with it and doing different things. But yeah, it's kind of becoming a little bit more, I think, mainstream in the crafting community. Would you guys say? I'm seeing a lot more crafters use it. I'd like to say that I'm part of that movement because I'm the one who started doing it, but I don't think I am. It's just people are starting to realize that clay is kind of cool, which I've always been saying for a while now. Okay, let me see if I can hold this thing up and try to paint it without getting too messy on my hands. There's one thing cool about paint, man. It just ties everything together like that. I'm doing up and down strokes, guys, because I want it to be, you know, like it's the candle itself on the smooth parts. So I don't want it to be like too streaky looking. Okay. You guys think you'd ever want to give one of these a try? Like I said, I would honestly just use a, you know, some sort of circular, like paper towel holder or some sort of something like that and give it a try. Of course, those are pretty thin. You can actually just take a piece of cardboard and create your own little cylinder too. You don't have to do it Let me go ahead and just paint the clay on the inside of that. Maybe I will paint the inside. You can use any kind of little cylinder. It's just something that the clay will stick to. Well, I guess I am going to go ahead and paint the inside while I'm at it, huh? Finish it all off. What are we doing here, guys? Pixie dot. I'm missing some comments. Just said, okay, this looks fun. It is fun. It really is. Like I said, I think this would really be a blast with the kids. You know, I have a almost 8-year-old grandson, and he's every time I go see him, he's like, "Did you bring art? Did you bring art?" Sometimes I don't. He's actually into the clay right now, and matter of fact, I'm getting him a big clay set with some tools for Christmas. But you know, he likes to do his little action figurine things. I don't know if I could get him to sit down long enough to do something like this, but he might. He might. Okay, so there's. Oh my God! I just dropped it. I'm so sorry, guy. I'm so sorry. See, at least you didn't smush too bad. All right, so there's one coat, guys. You see, like once you paint it, it all kind of ties in, and then you know, you get a little. I might try to put a heat gun on this, see how it works. See, I might not even do 2 coats. We'll see. Stay. Stop moving on me, you turkey. All right. How much time I got? Oh my Lord, it's 45 minutes. So much for my misfit. I guess I'll have to do my misfit in either another live, or I will do it just separately, and then I'll have to post it. So I'm gonna have to put another paint coat on this because my hands are getting all over it. Anyway, I'm gonna dry this up real quick and see if I can get the other little detail and get the eyeballs done. Unicorn spit. Yeah, I haven't tried that either. I know about it. That real bright ink stuff. Yeah, I've seen that for a while. Like I said, I don't really use too many. I used to be crafting and doing all kinds of things and teaching art to kids and adults and whatnot. But you know, these days I'm pretty much just sticking with the clay. So I don't really see where unicorn spit would be something I might. I mean, you could put it on clay, I'm sure. But yeah, I've seen that stuff. It looks pretty cool. I know that Justin's used it a few times. Kind of pricey though, isn't it? As far as I know, I don't know. Anyway, let's get this dried up and see if I can add the extra little details. All right, guys, I think that's it. It didn't take too long to dry because I was kind of concerned because it's wax, but it dried it pretty good. I probably should put an extra coat on here. It's a little streaky, but I ain't going to. I'm just going to call it good because I'll probably add a little distressing medium on it anyway. Okay, now let's do a little something fun in here. The mouth, put a little bit of black. We're going to paint up some colors here. Let's do the eyes first because the eyes are the fun part. Okay, actually, I need white for the eyes. White for the eyes, white for the eyes. Get me a little brush that's halfway decent. Usually my brushes are pretty crappy. I'm just doing white all around the eyes. I'm going to make those big old eyeballs pop out. You guys, I ran across this thing on Pinterest. It's like this really, oh my God, I'll have to send a picture of you guys to see what this thing is about. It is a really detailed, like gothic steampunk cat with a top hat, and it's got like clocks, you know, like you know, just really cool. What do you call a pocket watch, like hanging off of it. He's in a suit and a little bow tie. A lot of really cool texture detail on there. That thing is calling my name. I want to create that piece in clay. That is a project that will take a while, but I want to challenge myself to do something. Of course, it'll look a little bit different because it's clay, but I definitely want to challenge myself because it's got these really amazing like cat eyes. And I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. I got to give that a try. Okay. But that will be a project I'll do in stages, and I'll have to post it here and there. All right, I'm going to do him with the blue just like I did my other ones. This one's just got like the little blue eyes. what I'm gonna do with this one. Oh, thanks, Kimberly. Glad you like it. Like I said, it's just a fun little guy. You know, it's nothing real crazy, not real detailed, but they're fun. Oh God, I better put some more heat on it. All right, then we're gonna paint this blue around here. Once we get the eyes on, they start popping. So, did you guys think that this was very hard? This isn't very hard to do, right? You guys think you can do this? You saw me do the process of it. It's just mushing some clay onto a little thing and then just rolling out some balls and a little shaping on the nose and all that. And of course, you know, you can get references to look at. All right, so we're going to do the eyes about like that, I think. I don't know if those are too big. They're maybe a little bit big, but as far as the, that's called the iris, right? The colored part's called iris, I think. Anybody out here know their anatomy very well? Just got to be a little quiet for that one. So what do you guys think? Okay, one thing I was going to ask you too. Oh, I got 10 minutes left, guys. I got 5 minutes before my little where it's time for the hashtag word for my little timer goes off. All right, those might be a little bit big. I don't know. Maybe I'll make them smaller, but they're kind of some wild, crazy guys. What is your favorite? You're following me, sharing them. What is your favorite? If anybody is into this, like there's no fun monsters. I know T talked about all the great classic ladies from the classic TV shows, you know, and but what is your favorite monster? Does anybody have a favorite monster from a movie or even a cartoon or something like that? Does anybody have a fave? I think mine actually would be Frankenstein. And I honestly, even though he's considered a monster, he don't seem like a monster to me. I think he's just a lonely man. Well, a creature, let's put him that way. A lonely creature that was just, you know, misunderstood. That's the way I see him. And actually, I think that's the way it was in the book. So I'm just painting a little black inside here. Kind of, oh my goodness gracious. What in the world is going on here? All right. Sprinkles, thank you so much for the sprinkles. I appreciate that. Now, here's an easy way to do this. You know how I use my stylus to poke holes in here? I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to take a smaller one to get inside those little dots. You didn't have to do the little impressions like that, but it just kind of, to me, it gives a little bit more dimension in the clay. So I'm taking another stylus. And that was probably a little bit small, but I can make it work. Right. You agree with me about Frankenstein? Yeah, I think he was just a misunderstood little guy. Cookie Monster! There you go, Cindy. That's a good one. Yeah, he would be one of my faves too. Cookie Monster. So I'm just putting a little black inside the eyeballs there, guys. Like I said, you could just paint this on the circular surface too. You didn't really have to do those indentions. A lot of times when people do realistic sculptures, if you've actually studied like sculptures and things, they will put those little indentions in there like for the pupils, just because it looks, you know, gives it that dimensional effect. Okay, now I do want to probably put a little circle around his eyes too, a little black circle around the blue. I don't know, is the blue too big, guys? You think it's too big, or should I make the, I'm gonna leave it, I'm not gonna. It could be kind of, but they're more pinned. If the blue was smaller, they look more like pin eyes, but in this case, they look like kind of big old blue fat eyes. Okay, I still need to get a little detail on in there with the paint color. So let me do a little bit of that brown, and I'm gonna let the eyes dry, and hopefully I can. So let's do this. We're gonna throw a little bit of this brown on here just to kind of throw in a little bit of dimension, and maybe use that to do some of my. Remember, like I said, on this one, I actually had clay and I drew it out with my style. I drew the indentions in here. This one, I'm just going to do it with a brush. I mean, just kind of fake it out with a brush effect and see what happens. I need a skinny little brush. Where's my other? So Now, with your using polymer clay and different colors of clay, you could actually, I'm going to water this down a little bit too, guys. I don't want this straight. Excuse me, I put my little dye on through my messy little paint surface here. I don't want this to be like full bore because I just need it to be like going in there and giving it like some highlight within the eyes, you know, like in these little creases and stuff is what I'm going for. You can put distressing medium on this. Is what I did with the other one and then just kind of rub it off. But this one, I think I'm just going to work it like this with a little bit of brown and kind of just play with it. Put a little bit there in the nose, all the little areas where you've got your creases and whatnot. And you can actually just use your brush or your fingers and just kind of work it out. So you start bringing out a little bit, and it's just light, kind of bringing out a little bit of those details on there. Matter of fact, you can just wet it down and do it this way. Kind of just blending it out to get sort of a look. Here's something. I'm waiting for my husband to come home too. He's been on a men's retreat at church, like a church retreat for a few days. And I am just so excited from the things that he has experienced and gone through. And I'm just like, oh my God, so thank you, Lord, for opening a lot of things up that he's been dealing with. So I'm excited about him. I'm so proud of him. Anyway, all right, so that's that. He's been gone for 2.5 days. There's that. Now, let's put a little bit on here. I know I'm kind of rushing through this because of my time. What this is basically doing is creating like a little shadow effect, guys. I'm just, you know, going over here and kind of highlighting and shadowing. You can add as much or as little as you want, but you don't really want to overdo it. It's just like a shadow. So you just kind of, and I'm just dipping my nutmeg brown and kind of watering it down, and then just kind of going on the sides, both sides here and there to kind of create that effect. I said, if you want to throw a medium on here and just, you know, cover it up and do it that way with a distressing medium, you can do that. But I figured this is just a little quick way of doing something. And I'll probably go clean it up a little bit. But you guys get the general idea how adding the brown in there just kind of brings it together. I got on the eyeball. I'll have to clean that up. Stop. 5 minutes, guys. I got 5 minutes left. All right, those that have hang tight with me that are interested in trying to get that Amazon gift card, here's the time. So I want you to go ahead and put in hashtag. Now, there's no space, guys. It's just a hashtag boo, B-O-O. Hashtag boo in the comments. And then I'll run that tool here in a minute and see if you guys win an Amazon gift card. Somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to get it. All right, so there we go. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. No space, Kimberly. Do it again. There's no space. It's just hashtag boo. Remember, no spaces in between there because it won't show up unless you've got a space. All right, so throw a little bit more of this on here. Hashtag boo. Well, I guess people are actually paying attention. I seem to get a lot of comments when I start talking about my little hashtag word, not don't I? I'm just messing with you guys. I'm actually taking my big brush and kind of brushing it down a little bit. I kind of like it better like that. It kind of gives a little bit more of that whole effect with brown. So just kind of streaking it out, just very lightly. See how it's kind of coming together though, like that? Let's do the whole thing like that real quick. Then I'll turn my camera up and we'll do that word. By the way, like I said, you guys, make sure you hang tight because Miss Jan's coming up next. Miss Jan is one of my favorite buddies, and I'm going to try to get her going to cruise with me. Jan, I already got it picked out. We're going to go to Cozumel. You guys ready for that? Anybody want to go on a Cozumel cruise next year? All right, so that's that. Now, I would want to probably add a little bit more detail to it. I'm going to do a little bit more. I think you created a I love it. Joy. Joy, you're so funny. Your ex, you know, I could probably say that about a couple of mine. I've got a couple exes. All my exes, but they don't all live in Texas. All my exes live in Texas. Now, these I might not like, but it's actually not too bad. I'm just kind of drawing these on. I like them better when I can do the impression. That's funny. And this blush is actually split open, this brush, but I kind of like it because it's making two different lines going on the side there. All right, guys. See, we got a little something going on. Oh, Joy, you're cracking me up. Oh, there's my baby. There he is. Are you home? Roberto, you better come see me. You better come see me. I want to give you a hug and a kiss. You see what it is? I can't wait to see you, babe. So proud. Missed you. I got to go say hi to my hubby. All right, so guys, we're going to finish this up right now. It's pretty much finished. I will do a little bit more detail on it, but you guys got the general gist. He's kind of cute, huh? Got to get the idea? Yeah. All right, so let's do the hashtag word, and then you guys are going to go over and see Jan. Switch my camera over here and get my other, so you can see my little lovely face or whatever you want to see. Hey, there I am. Hey guys. Okay, now let's do this hashtag word. If you're not familiar with this, just hang tight. I'm going to pull up my screen and wait a minute, different one, wrong one. We're going to share my screen with a little kind of fun little tool that we use. I've only got a couple minutes yet, so I need to get on this thing. Share. Sorry, I didn't get to my misfit girl, but I have to do that another time. Okay. My StreamYard's actually working good today. My internet, believe it or not, it works good in a storm. I don't know what that's about. All right, so hashtag, we got boo. Everybody got the boo word in? That's what I call my baby. I call him boo boo. Okay, here we go. Start collecting comments. Draw. Here we go. So winner, chicken dinner. Who is that? Oh my gosh, Minnie. Did you win? Minnie again. Minnie? Minnie, I don't think you have one this month. I think you've won before, though. I think this thing plays favorites on Minnie Crumb Cutter. All right, Miss Minnie Crumb, I got you down there. I got you on the list, girlfriend. So you guys see how it works. So if you follow me and whenever I go live, I do this little hashtag tool and you guys get on my list for Amazon gift card. So Minnie, like I said, you won before. I'm pretty sure you won before. And but that's where it goes. All right, guys, go over. I think I'm right on the dot. Go see Jan and hang out with the rest of the group and have some fun. And I'll see you next time, sometime next week. I think Tuesday I got something going on. A couple next week, something like that.